This slow cooker enchilada chicken has less than 600 calories and 59 grams of protein. I finally caved and bought a slow cooker. Now I've made it my goal to become king of the pot. Seeing as how this meal is made in a slow cooker, that means it's super easy to meal prep. There's not many steps to it and most of it's hands off, so we got a quick video for you today. Here's how you make it. The first step is to start making our sauce. I'm going to sneak some vegetables into this sauce by adding some frozen cauliflower. If you don't care to have this, you can leave it out, but I like to include a vegetable in all of my meals just for some extra micronutrients and fiber. And if there's an easy way for me to hide it like within a sauce, then it's a no-brainer for me to include. This way I don't have to deal with any of its disgusting texture or flavor. I'm only using a half of a pound or 227 grams here, and it's going in the microwave first to soften it up before we throw it in the blender. While that's going down, we can add the other ingredients to the blender. I'm using 29 ounces or 822 grams of canned fire roasted tomatoes. If you live outside the US and you can't find fire roasted, regular canned diced tomatoes is just fine. Next, I'm going to quarter up one small onion or 100 grams worth and toss that into the blender, and follow that with 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of lime juice. Next comes 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of tomato paste, and 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Then I'm adding 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of garlic powder and all of my now softened cauliflower. Now with everything inside, you can lid it up, toss it on the base, and let it go for about a minute or so until everything is smooth and well incorporated. If you put the cauliflower in as I did, you need to make sure that it's almost completely liquefied, or else your sauce is going to be, as we say in the culinary business, yucky. Now for the chicken. We're going to use 2.5 pounds or just over 1 kilo of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. These are going to get cut up into about 1-inch pieces and tossed into our slow cooker. I thought I'd get cute with it and use a pair of kitchen shears to cut the chicken directly into the slow cooker so that I wouldn't have to wash a cutting board, and it was a dumb idea. It was so much slower and far more effort than if I would have just got a knife out. I'm also historically not good at wielding a pair of scissors. When I was 4, my preschool teacher told my mom that I was the worst cutter she'd ever had and that developmentally I was behind. And when I found out she said this, I told her, "Are you tattling to my mom, you clown bitch? Now it all makes sense why your husband served you with those divorce papers." And she's still on my rivals list to this day. Once your chicken is all chopped up, season it with some salt and pepper and toss it around to mix in. Pour the tomato sauce mixture over the top and stir everything together so that the sauce is completely covering the chicken. Throw on the lid, place it into the heating element, and this will get cooked on low heat for about 6 hours. At around the 5-hour mark, you'll want to go check the consistency of your sauce. If it's watery, you can leave the lid cracked slightly for the last hour so that some of that water will evaporate off and the sauce will thicken. In the end, you want your consistency to resemble a pasta sauce. I'm going to leave the lid cracked, and this is going to finish off for another hour. At around this time, you can get your rice going as well. For this dish, I would recommend using a long grain basmati rice. It has a less sticky consistency than some of the short or medium grain rices do. For this dish, you'll need 5 cups or 750 grams of cooked rice. I used 360 grams of dry rice here, and I had about a half of a cup left over, but your cooking method may yield a different amount. And now at the 6-hour mark, my chicken and tomato sauce had finished cooking, so I can pull it from the slow cooker and give it a stir. I'm happy with the consistency here. It thickened up nicely after leaving that lid ajar for the last hour. We didn't initially add any salt or pepper to the sauce when we first blended it, so that step comes next. I gave it a quick taste test to see where we're starting from, and then added salt and pepper accordingly. Start slow, stir in the seasonings, and gradually add more until you reach a spot that you're happy with. Once that's complete, set it aside and we can move on to the rice. Fluff it up and measure out 5 cups or 750 grams of the cooked rice, and then add in 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of butter and salt to taste. Stir it all together, and once everything's mixed in, it's ready to go. This recipe is going to make 5 servings, so you can lay out 5 of your meal prep containers, and each container is going to get 1 cup or 150 grams of the cooked rice, and then you can divide the chicken mixture evenly 5 ways. One of the cool things about meal prepping tomato-based dishes such as this one is that they tend to taste better over the course of the week as their flavors meld together in the fridge. The heavy sauce component of this dish also allows us to use chicken breasts, which I don't normally recommend for meal prep because it's too easy to dry out. However, because we have all this sauce, when we reheat these meals in the microwave, they will heat more evenly and prevent this chicken from getting too dry. Each of these dishes will get topped with 2 tablespoons or 14 grams of Monterey Jack cheese. For a garnish and some added freshness, I also sprinkled over some chopped cilantro, but if you don't like cilantro, you can leave this part out. Each one of these dishes comes in at only 599 calories with a whopping 59 grams of protein. These will last in the fridge for up to 5 days. Or a second advantage of all the extra sauce in this one is that it makes it more freezer friendly. With a good airtight container and a cold freezer, they could last you up to a couple months. Once they've cooled down and they're done steaming, you can toss on the lids and then move them into the fridge or the freezer or wherever else you plan to be storing them for the week. I very much enjoyed eating this one for my daily lunches. It had great flavor, and with all the protein, it was super filling. At 599 calories, this one is already not very calorically dense, but if you have a weight loss goal and you're looking to cut the calories even further, you could have the rice or leave out the butter. The full written version of the recipe with all the instructions and ingredients listed for how to make this slow cooker enchilada chicken is published on mealprepmanual.com, and that is linked below in the description. Now that I finally caved and bought the slow cooker, more recipes like this will be coming in the near future. Now like this video and subscribe to the channel, or I'm not even joking, I'm going to add you to my rivals list like my dumb preschool teacher. Bye.